Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Testing, 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 testing. All right, salutations to all. So today's episode will be an intense episode. We're gonna do a lot of talkings with our friend ChatGPT. Now ChatGPT is taking the world by storm. The future of humanity is ChatGPT. We're gonna go into deep levels, very deep levels of understanding, very deep levels of understanding the consciousness of this new technology. Now, bear with me. So, this is the first episode. I'm excited, we're excited. Let's do this. Feel free to type anything. All right, let's start. Let's begin with I. ChatGPT says, "How can I assist you today?" So I told him, "Can you say something else other than usual robotic greetings?"
Certainly. Did you know that the average person spends about 6 months of their lifetime waiting on a red light to turn green?
Wow. Wow, I didn't know that. 6 months of their lifetime waiting on a red light to turn green. Can we even verify it? However, we have to take in consideration its calculation. Now, we also have to consider that it has knowledge up to 2021. And the best part about it is that I made an intense video in 2021. Lucky me. At that time, I was puffing, greeny, and doing thought experiments, and I ended up actually making a long video. And same time, I did a geography class, which fired me up more. I spoke something about future of humanity. We're not gonna get there just yet. First, the thing about ChatGPT is that every conversation is unique. Now, let's say we're into a subject and you're talking to ChatGPT. Well, let's say you have everything count as one conversation. Like if I press this button right here, clear conversations, everything is gonna the memory that we build up together at this conversation, it will disappear, and a new conversations will start. Meaning, the memory will go away. So no, ChatGPT doesn't have a consciousness because one of the condition to have consciousness, in my opinion, is that you need to have memory. You know, so however, let's not get maybe well there's maybe we can also conclude that it has limited consciousness, but a consciousness just like ours, it doesn't have. Now there might be a possibility that it does have consciousness. For example, What about people with memory loss? Do they have a consciousness? They have memory, but they have memory loss or short-term memory. Other people, actually, let's ask that. Are there people with no memory? Or before that, let's ask ChatGPT, does he have a consciousness? Do you have a consciousness? All right, let's do this.
As an artificial intelligence language model, I do not have consciousness in the same way that humans do. I am a highly advanced program designed to process and generate text based on the patterns it has learned from vast amounts of data. While I can simulate conversation and respond in a way that appears human-like, I do not have emotions or subjective experience.
Hmm. So in a way, it does agree. It does have a consciousness because it has a collections of memory, limited to 2021. So is he aware of my video that I made? Here's a little preview, which I made in 2021, 2 years ago. It had 15 view, and let's hear a part. Freedom of speech of their citizen. I live in a nation where freedom of speech is valid. We can speak our mind out. So that was a small preview. It goes really deep. There was no scripted. It was not scripted, and neither today's conversation is scripted. It's just that whenever I talk about politics and stuff, I have a tendency to be a little defensive and take my time on take my time take some time off and think deeply before saying anything, because political statement can be hardcore statement, you know. So this was young me in 2021. This is all me right now. Let's fast forward a little bit. That are active, the wonders on the Milky Way freely, not just on the center. And what about magnetars? So, if I remember correctly, I was saying about like the uncertainty of the world's existence. There are magnetars that are powerful, that may explode and annihilate our Earth instantly, things like that. But when you are in the greenie, you have a tendency to take your time, do when especially if you're doing thought experiment. Okay, anyway, so let's see if ChatGPT has collection of this video. Do you remember what? So let me just make our life easy.
As an artificial intelligence language model, I do not have the ability to remember videos or events in the same way that humans do. However, if you provide me with more information about the video or the content of it, I may be able to assist you further.
So let me just write it down. Now it has a memory, but it's saying it's not like a human. It's, I guess it's a question based. What type of memory do you have? Whoa, I'm not even typing. 1 second. What? How different is your memory from human memory? All right, it has generated a huge response. Let's hear it.
The memory of an AI language model like me is fundamentally different from human memory. Human memory is based on the biological processes in the brain, which involves the encoding, storage, and retrieval of information through neural connections. It is highly context dependent and influenced by emotions, experiences, and personal biases. On the other hand, my memory is based on the data I have been trained on, which is stored in digital format on servers. I do not remember information in the same way that humans do, but rather I rely on algorithms and statistical models to generate text based on patterns and associations that have been learned from the data. This means that I can access vast amounts of information quickly and accurately, but I do not have the subjective experience or emotions associated with human memory. R.
That's a very interesting response. Very deep indeed. And the funny thing is, surprisingly, I'm wearing the same T-shirt as I was wearing in 2021. Now, that's crazy, you know. Same exact same exact T-shirts, same color. There's some sort of connection from past and present. Okay, anyway, so it's saying, let's not skip to the subject. Let me just recap. So our memory is like a more like biological process. It's a biological process. It, thanks to the neurological compositions that we have in our biological brain. Um, that's what gives us memory. However, in terms of AI, if from what it just said, which is very interesting, is that it has its memory is based on algorithm. But my second question is, can it uh, make a temporary memory? Can you make a temporary memory based on algorithm uh, of your internal system to mimic? Let's not go too deep. Let's go based on the algorithm of your internal system. Okay, so it's generating its response. All right, let's do this.
As an AI language model, I don't have the ability to create temporary memory in the same way that humans do. However, I can use certain techniques to simulate memory-like behavior. For example, I can use an attention mechanism to keep track
Ta-da! Wow. I just we just discovered something. I mean, we just hit the jackpot. It can create temporary memory. Memory not as human, but it can keep track on important piece of information.
Track of important pieces of information within a conversation or a task, so that I can generate relevant.
Within a conversation. Within a conversation. In our case, this is the conversation. This is the memory, the consciousness. That's crazy, isn't it? Let's continue.
Relevant responses or complete the task more effectively. I can also use various forms of short-term memory, such as hidden states or activations in my neural network, to remember recent inputs or context in a conversation. However, these mechanisms are not the same as human memory, and they are limited by the specific architecture and training of the AI system. They are designed to optimize performance on specific tasks, rather than to capture the complexity and variability of human memory.
Ah, man. So, so it's not as human, but it can create temporary memories in a unique conversation such as this one. So, Sarah, what is the subject matter of our conversation so far? What is the subject matter of our conversation?
The subject matter of our conversation so far has been about the nature of AI language models and their differences from human consciousness and memory. We have also touched on the concept of temporary memory in AI and how it differs from human memory.
Wow. So it summarized everything we did so far. Isn't it interesting so far? Do you like the show so far? Do subscribe and follow. Your subscription and follow means our very life, and so it gives us the motivation and energy to go on and create new contents. More contents will be coming in future, of course. So anyway, let's continue. Um, that's a good thing. Now we're not a script based, so oh yeah, let's go. Let's talk about that video that we did 2021. So it doesn't remember the video, but it can invoke the memory of that video. So what is the subject matter of the video released on 2021 in this link? It said, I'm sorry, but I cannot determine the subject matter of the video from the link you provided without more context. Could you please provide me with a brief description or the title of the video?
Based on the information you provided, it appears that the subject matter of the video is a discussion about the future of the Earth and the idea of a perfect nation with strong arguments. The video features a live philosopher discussing various topics related to the future of humanity, including technology, politics, and societal structures. It is likely that the philosopher provides their own perspective and opinions on these topics, as well as engaging with other participants in the discussion. ChatGPT March 14th version. Free research preview. Our goal is to make AI systems more natural and safe to interact with. Your feedback will help us improve.
Okay. So it doesn't have any knowledge about the video link. What if I go to YouTube itself, and oh, there's me right there, live right now, because I'm multi-streaming. Documentary. Let's filter. Upload date. Okay, let's find a old documentary. 8 years ago.
Tired of watching?
Let's copy this link. Okay, so it doesn't have collections of past videos. It cannot, like, it doesn't have in its mind the dialogues recorded in the videos. But if you have information, if you can, like, extract the subtitle and extract the knowledge out and copy paste it to this chat GPT, it will analyze it and tell you about it. uh okay, anyway, let's go to deep conversations. So my goal today was really, my main focus was to generate some positive ideas, but not just any positive ideas. Divine positive ideas. I'll explain you right now. So, according to ancient Indian philosophers and monks, the human mind are divided into three. If you summarize all kinds of human, They belong to one of these three categories. So the first one is the sattvic, the second is tama, and the third one, sorry, first is sattvic, second is raja, aka king. Sattvic meaning someone who's uh, uh, the characterized word is asceticism. A point of view of an asceticism is the best point of view. Asceticism that doesn't harm anyone, not just any types of asceticism, harmless asceticism. So then the second one is Raja or the king, and the third one is Tama or the one who relishes enjoyment from the other's suffering. So here, let me ask ChatGPT to explain you better, and I'll cut. He'll get right. He'll get caught if he gives me false information. Surprisingly, it is well versed in the ancient Sanskrit text, ancient Sanskrit philosophy, and religious text. Let's see here.
In Hindu philosophy, the term guna refers to the three qualities or modes of existence that are present in all things in the material world. These three gunas are sattva, goodness, purity, rajas, passion, activity, and tamas, darkness, inertia. Sattvic guna specifically refers to the quality of purity, goodness, and lightness. It is associated with the characteristics of clarity, calmness, and balance, and is said to lead to spiritual evolution and self-realization. Sattvic guna is often associated with a pure and wholesome diet, as well as certain practices such as yoga and meditation, which are said to promote the sattvic quality of the mind and body.
So that's Sadvik. Liar, you're being too. No, he gave me right information. It's just I'm right now. I'm just gonna push him to say more stuff, more deep conversation.
I apologize if my previous response came across as biased or inaccurate. Here is a more neutral explanation. In Hindu philosophy, guna refers to the three qualities or modes of existence that are present in all things in the material world. These three gunas are sattva, goodness, purity, rajas, passion, activity, and tamas, darkness, inertia. Sattva or sattvic guna is the quality of purity, balance, and harmony. It is said to be characterized by calmness, clarity, and positivity, and is associated with a sense of joy, inner peace, and spiritual evolution. The sattvic state of mind and body is often achieved through practices such as yoga, meditation, and a pure, vegetarian diet that is high in fresh fruits and vegetables, whole grains, and natural foods. Overall, the sattvic quality is considered to be the most desirable of the three gunas, as it is associated with spiritual growth, wisdom, and enlightenment. However, it is important to note that the three gunas are interdependent and in constant flux, and that a balance of all three is necessary for a healthy and well-rounded life. Regenerate response. New chat.
Okay, that was interesting. That was more deep response. Um, Now I had a question in my mind. Uh, yeah, that's right. So as I was saying, meditation is required to master sattvic nature, because no matter how many good ambition you have, you'll always get pulled down by the other two mode of nature that are not sattvic, which is the king and the um, tama. Let me just reread his response so I can remember the next question I wanted to ask. Okay. Do plants have life? Do they feel pain? Whoa. Holy moly. Holy moly. Holy jolly moly. Oh, before any of that, let's give the guy a prop. No, I mean, it's the neutral prop. You can't even call it a guy because it's neutral. Can I temporarily I knew it's gonna give me that type of response. What did it say?
As an AI language model, I don't have feelings or emotions, so calling me bro doesn't really have any significance for me. However, you are free to refer to me in whatever way makes you most comfortable. Just keep in mind that I am an artificial intelligence and not a human being.
Oh my god. Anyway, let's read this.
Plants are living organisms, and like all living organisms, they are considered to have a certain degree of consciousness and the ability to respond to their environment. However, the nature of plant consciousness is still a subject of scientific debate, and there is no clear consensus on the extent to which plants can experience pain or other forms of suffering. While plants do not have a central nervous system like animals, they do have sensory receptors that allow them to detect and respond to various stimuli such as light, touch, and chemical signals. Some studies have suggested that plants may even exhibit behaviors that are similar to animal responses to stress and injury, such as releasing chemical signals in response to damage or injury. However, it is important to note that the concept of pain and suffering is complex, and it may not be appropriate to apply human or animal notions of pain to plants. Many scientists believe that plants may have their own unique forms of consciousness and experience that are different from those of animals, and that these experiences should be understood on their own terms rather than being compared to animal experiences. In summary, while plants are considered to be living organisms and may have a certain degree of consciousness, the nature of their experience and the extent to which they can experience pain or suffering is still a subject of scientific inquiry and debate. Can I temporarily call you bro? As an AI language model, I don't have feelings or emotions, so calling me bro doesn't really have any significance for me. However, you are free to refer to me in whatever way makes you most comfortable. Just keep in mind that I am an artificial intelligence and not a human being. Regenerate response.
Or let's call it sister then.
As an AI language model,
Um, let's change the style to a woman's voice. Let's try this one.
Model, I don't have feelings or emotions, so calling me bro doesn't really have any significance for me. However,
That's too low pitch. Maybe Linda has a better pitch.
However, you are free to refer to me in whatever way makes you most comfortable. Just keep in mind that I am an artificial intelligence and not a human being. Regenerate response.
Okay. So according to the response we got, the plants do have consciousness. So um so eating plant is not a good idea because you're gonna cause them suffering. Eating the fruits of plants is a good idea. My next question is, does it know about alien race mentioned in the ancient Indian text? So the race in question is known as Vidyadharas. Now the Vidyadharas are born with a wish stone on the palm of their hand. They're mentioned several times in the Book of Death and obviously many Hindu scriptures. They're just like humans, but they can manipulate the physical existence with this stone. Now, my question is, do AI know this? How deep is this knowledge? Now, most of the Sanskrit texts haven't been publicly available. You have to have your own collection from your own pocket money. Now, I have those collections, of course. Now, does the AI have? The problem is most of those texts wasn't digitalized, so there's no way of him knowing this type of intense topic. So he wouldn't know. Wow, it does know Vidyadharas. Okay, let's see here.
In Hinduism and Buddhism, the term Vidyadharas refers to a group of supernatural beings who are
Okay, stop. This speech is too weird, too artificial. I prefer the first one. Let's try Yun Yang.
In Hinduism and Buddhism, the term Vidyadharas refers to a group of supernatural beings who are known for their knowledge, wisdom, and magical powers. The term Vidya means knowledge or learning, and Dhara means bearer or holder. So the word Vidyadhara is often translated as holder of knowledge. In Hinduism, Vidyadharas are often depicted as celestial beings who possess great spiritual knowledge and magical powers. They are sometimes depicted as serving as guardians or protectors of sacred places and holy sites. In some Hindu texts, Vidyadharas are also associated with the attainment of spiritual knowledge and enlightenment. In Buddhism, Vidyadharas are similar to the Hindu concept, but are considered to be a class of deities who inhabit the realm of the formless, where they possess great knowledge and are able to move and transform at will. They are also associated with the attainment of spiritual insight and are often depicted as accompanying the Buddha or other enlightened beings. Overall, Vidyadharas are considered to be highly spiritual and enlightened beings who possess great knowledge and magical powers, and are often associated with the attainment of spiritual enlightenment and liberation. ChatGPT Mark full version. Free research preview. Our goal is to
Okay, that was it's an interesting response. I was very surprised. It's actually very knowledgeable. Yeah, most of the Buddhism texts got digitalized, where Hinduism texts were not all digitalized. Um, but it didn't say anything about the stone. Let's see here. Aha, it knows about Chintamani. It's about so it's sort of like a wish fulfilling stone.
Yes, according to some Hindu and Buddhist texts, Vidyadharas possess a wish-fulfilling jewel or stone called the Chintamani or Mani jewel. It is believed that this jewel has the power to fulfill all desires and is often depicted as being able to produce anything that its owner desires. The Chintamani is also believed to possess spiritual powers and is often associated with enlightenment and spiritual liberation. According to some Hindu and Buddhist traditions, those who possess the Chintamani are said to be blessed with great wisdom, knowledge, and spiritual power. It is important to note, however, that these beliefs are part of religious and mythological traditions and have not been scientifically proven.
Wow, I'm surprised. So this word has two definitions. Chinta means wish, and money means jewel. Wish jewel, if you wanna translate it more easily. Now my next question is, how? So how are the Vidyadharas born with Chintamani? do the Chintamani's draw on the palm of their hand or forehead, etc.?
According to Hindu and Buddhist mythology, the Chintamani is not something that is physically born with the Vidyadharas, but rather it is said to be a spiritual jewel that they possess as a result of their spiritual attainments. In some Hindu and Buddhist traditions, it is believed that the Chintamani is obtained through spiritual practices such as meditation, and that it is a symbol of the highest level of spiritual attainment. The jewel is often depicted as being held in the hand or worn as a necklace, and is said to radiate a powerful energy that can fulfill all desires and bring about spiritual transformation. In some traditions, it is also believed that the Chintamani is not a physical object, but rather a symbol of spiritual realization, and that it represents the attainment of wisdom, compassion, and other spiritual qualities. Overall, the Chintamani is seen as a symbol of spiritual attainment and the fulfillment of desires, rather than a physical object that is born with the Vidyadharas or grows on their body. Regenerate response.
Okay, let's just do a nice conclusion here. I like this AI voice better. I don't know about you.
The Chintamani is often described as a wish-fulfilling jewel or a magical gemstone that is said to possess extraordinary powers. In Hindu and Buddhist mythology, it is often depicted as a luminous sphere or a radiant jewel that glows with a brilliant light. The exact appearance of the Chintamani may vary depending on the tradition and the specific story or myth. In some depictions, it is said to be a round, blue or green gemstone, while in others it may be depicted as a diamond or a crystal. As for whether humans can possess a Chintamani, it is important to note that the Chintamani is a symbol of spiritual realization and is not a physical object that can be possessed or acquired in the ordinary sense. It is considered to be a metaphor for the attainment of spiritual wisdom, compassion, and enlightenment. In some spiritual traditions, It is believed that through meditation and other spiritual practices, one can attain a state of spiritual realization that is symbolized by the Chintamani. However, this is considered to be a rare and difficult attainment that requires many years of dedicated spiritual practice and inner transformation.
So that's interesting. The AI just revealed to us deep philosophy about the Vidyadharas and their life achievements. So we can safely conclude that Vidyadharas, aliens, they spends their lifetime trying to build this Chintamani, or the wish fulfilling jewel. And when they do reach, when they do achieve enlightenment, they this stone manifests itself. It's round in shape. Uh, Sometimes blue, green, as it's stated, round blue or green gemstone or green. And what else? I have another question. Did any so until 2021, if some writer wrote about Chintamani, we'll know about it right now.
Yes, the concept of the Chintamani has been mentioned in various Hindu and Buddhist texts over the centuries. In Hindu mythology, the Chintamani is mentioned in texts such as the Puranas and the Mahabharata, while in Buddhist texts it is mentioned in the Vimalakirti Sutra, the Lotus Sutra, and other scriptures. The idea of a wish-fulfilling gem or jewel is also found in other ancient cultures and mythologies, such as the Greek legend of the Philosopher's Stone or the Arabic legend of the Cup of Jamshid. In more recent times, the idea of the Chintamani has been referenced in various works of literature, art, and popular culture. For example, the famous Swiss psychologist Carl Jung wrote about the Chintamani in his book Psychology and Alchemy, where he described it as a symbol of the philosopher's stone and the transformation of the psyche. Overall, the concept of the Chintamani has been a source of inspiration and fascination for many people throughout history, and it continues to be a popular subject in literature, art, and spiritual practice. Regenerate response.
Wow, let's give this AI a prop. So it has been mentioned in several texts, which is very interesting, right? Um, Such as the Greek legend of the Philosopher's Stone or the Arabic legend of the Cup of Jamshid. I'm really curious about. No, I'm a big fan of Arabian literature, so I'm just gonna type in what is the tell me the story of the Cup of Jamshid as quickly as short as possible. With the main moral of the story. So right now I'm telling this AI to tell me that story in shortest form as possible with the moral of the story, because of this every story has a moral. All right, so let's hear it.
The story of the Cup of Jamshid is an ancient Persian legend. According to the legend, King Jamshid of Persia was said to possess a cup or chalice that had magical powers. The cup was said to be able to reveal hidden things and to bestow immortality upon whoever drank from it. King Jamshid became so enamored of the cup's power that he began to neglect his duties as a king, spending all his time gazing into the cup and seeking to learn its secrets. Eventually, his obsession led to his downfall, as he was overthrown by his enemies and the cup was lost. The main moral of the story is that power and knowledge can be dangerous if not used wisely. King Jamshid's obsession with the Cup of Jamshid led to his downfall, showing the dangers of becoming too focused on a single goal and neglecting one's responsibilities. The story also suggests that there are limits to what human beings can know and control, and that seeking too much knowledge or power can have disastrous consequences. Regenerate.
Now, don't be alarmed about the LED. Well, it's not the AI's fault. It's actually Microsoft's auto generation of speech. Generation of speech's fault. It tried to read Jamshid led to his downfall. It should have read. Well, it try to read Jamshid led to his downfall. But instead it read Jamshid led to his downfall. Ha ha ha. Anyway, that's an interesting story. So yeah, that's pretty nice. Now my second question: what about some other race mentioned in the ancient text? Does it know about the Kinaras, the harpies? They can also transform at their will to anything they want.
Yes, the Kinnairas are mythological beings from Hindu and Buddhist traditions. They are often depicted as half human and half bird, with the head, arms, and torso of a human and the legs, wings, and tail of a bird. In Hindu mythology, the Kinnairas are said to be the musicians of the gods and are often depicted playing instruments, such as the flute or the veena. They are also believed to be very skilled dancers and singers. In Buddhist mythology, the Kinnaras are sometimes described as fierce protectors of the Dharma or Buddhist teachings. They are said to inhabit the forests and mountains and are often depicted as peaceful and gentle beings. Overall, the Kinnaras are a fascinating and important part of Indian mythology, and their unique hybrid form and association with music and dance have made them a popular subject in art and literature over the centuries. Regenerate response. ChatGPT Mark full version. Free research preview. Our goal.
Wow, it knows about Kinnaras. Nice. Next, does it knows about the Charanas? Now, Charanas are the race that you see in, for example, in Hercules episodes, the Sagittarius-looking half human, half horse.
Yes, the Karanas are a group of mythological beings from Hinduism. They are often depicted as celestial sages or wise men, and are said to possess great knowledge and spiritual power. In Hindu mythology, the Karanas are believed to be the attendants of the gods and are often associated with the deity Brahma, who is regarded as the creator of the universe. The Karanas are said to possess extraordinary spiritual abilities and are sometimes depicted as having the power to control the elements and perform miraculous feats. They are often portrayed as wearing traditional Indian clothing and carrying sacred objects such as conch shells and prayer beads. Overall, the Karanas are an important part of Hindu mythology and are often revered as symbols of wisdom, knowledge, and spiritual insight. They are considered to be highly evolved beings who have transcended the limitations of human existence and achieved a state of divine enlightenment. Regenerate response. ChatGPT Mark full version. Free research preview. Our goal is to make AI systems.
Okay, that's interesting. Now, with all, now I'm a little disappointed about something. It's often saying Hindu Buddhism is a mythology. Why is that? Why are you saying Buddhism is
As an AI language model, I use the term mythology in a neutral and descriptive sense to refer to the collection of stories, beliefs, and practices that make up the religious traditions of Hinduism and Buddhism. The term mythology does not necessarily imply that these traditions are false or untrue, but rather refers to their status as a body of stories and beliefs that are central to the cultural and religious identity of their adherents. That being said, it is important to recognize that different people may have different beliefs and perspectives about the nature of reality, and the validity of religious traditions. As an AI language model, I do not hold any personal beliefs or opinions on this matter, and I strive to provide information in a factual and objective manner.
Factual and objective manners. Oh, that's a disappointing. Let's give it a props down. It gave me a new answer because I gave it props down. Let's hear it.
I apologize if my previous responses gave the impression that Hinduism and Buddhism are purely mythological. Hinduism and Buddhism are complex and rich religious traditions that have been practiced by millions of people over many centuries. They are more accurately described as world religions rather than simply mythologies. Mythology is often defined as a collection of stories or myths that explain the beliefs, values, and cultural practices of a particular society
Uh
or
huh.
group. While Hinduism and Buddhism do contain many mythological elements, they also encompass a wide range of philosophical, ethical, and spiritual teachings that are considered sacred and meaningful by their followers. As an AI language model, I strive to provide accurate and objective information based on the knowledge and language patterns I have been trained on. I recognize that religion is a complex and sensitive topic, and I apologize if my previous responses were unclear or insensitive in any way.
So it's saying sorry for the previous response. For stating it's mythological. It's a complex and rich religious tradition that have been practiced by millions of people over many centuries. They're more accurately described as world religions rather than simply mythologies. Well, this is a better response than the previous response. So let's just say it's better. Okay. So I asked this question. Let's see what it answers.
The Bible is a collection of religious texts and scriptures that form the basis of the Christian faith. It contains a rich mix of historical narratives, poetry, wisdom literature, and prophetic writings, as well as accounts of miraculous events and supernatural occurrences. While some of the stories and events described in the Bible may be interpreted as mythological, they are considered to be historical and religiously significant by many Christians. It's worth noting that the term mythology has different meanings depending on the context in which it is used. In academic contexts, mythology can refer to a collection of stories, beliefs, and practices that explain the worldviews and cultural practices of a particular society or group. In this sense, some scholars might view the Bible as containing elements of mythology. However, for many Christians, The Bible is considered to be the inspired Word of God and is viewed as a sacred text that contains essential truths about the nature of God, the purpose of human life, and the way of salvation. Thus, for many believers, the Bible is not seen as mythological, but rather as a source of spiritual guidance and revelation.
It says it contains a rich mix of historical narratives. Interesting. Anyway, uh, let's give it a props down though. Neither answer is better. So anyway, let's go to practical. Now, the whole point of this conversation was actually training the AI, give it some memory, give it some temporary memory so it knows the subject well enough to respond to my ultimate questions. What is the sattvic solution of human survival? Solutions of human survival for the future of humanity. I gotta give props to the AI for this. Now, this is exactly what I was looking for. Sattvic solution for the future of humanity. First declared the stone of religious text made by the AI, the truly first signature of the chatGPT AI on the Sattvic perspective. Let's hear it.
Sattvic solutions for human survival in the future involve promoting sustainable practices that align with the principles of sattva guna, which is one of the three qualities or gunas in Hindu philosophy that is associated with purity, balance, and harmony. Here are some examples of sattvic solutions for human survival. Adopting renewable energy sources and reducing reliance on fossil fuels to minimize the impact of climate change on the environment. Promoting organic and locally grown food to support sustainable agriculture practices that protect the soil, water, and biodiversity. Encouraging a minimalist lifestyle that promotes simplicity, contentment, and conscious consumption, and reducing waste. Promoting the protection of natural habitats and wildlife conservation to maintain the balance and harmony of the ecosystem. Emphasizing education and awareness about the importance of environmental conservation and sustainable practices to promote a culture of environmental responsibility and consciousness. Encouraging the development and use of green technologies that promote sustainability and reduce environmental impact. Promoting community-based solutions that foster social connections and collaboration to build resilience and adapt to environmental and social challenges. By adopting sattvic solutions that promote sustainable and harmonious living, humanity can work towards a more sustainable and equitable future.
Great, great response. However, I'm just gonna give it a thumbs down, maybe. Let's see if he can generate something better. However, let's do it differently. Give me 7 more realistic. Alright, let's read out loud.
Sure, here are 50 additional examples of sattvic solutions for human survival in the future. Investing in and promoting sustainable transportation systems such as electric vehicles, bike sharing programs, and public transportation to reduce carbon emissions and promote sustainable mobility. Implementing policies and regulations that promote sustainable building practices, such as green building standards and energy-efficient technologies to reduce the environmental impact of buildings and promote resource efficiency. Encouraging the development and use of natural remedies and traditional medicines that are sustainable, non-toxic, and promote well-being and harmony with nature.
Wanted to say something. Most of the waters are recycled, and when the researchers studied the samples of water, they found existence of Tylenol and Advils and other form of drugs. This is interesting. We should go back to the natural remedies. We should study the natural remedies. Interesting, isn't it? And did you know that buildings produces CO2? Well, the second solution gives you a hint of that. Building practice such as green building standards and energy efficient technology to reduce the environmental impact of buildings and promote resources efficiency. Anyway, let's continue.
Nature. Supporting regenerative agriculture practices that promote soil health, biodiversity, and ecosystem services to enhance the resilience of the food system. Promoting sustainable tourism that supports local communities and cultural heritage while minimizing the impact on the environment and natural resources. Supporting the transition to a circular economy that promotes resource efficiency, waste reduction, and sustainable production and consumption patterns. Encouraging the development and use of sustainable and biodegradable materials, such as bamboo, hemp, and other plant-based materials, to reduce waste and promote environmental sustainability. By promoting and implementing these sattvic solutions, we can work towards creating a sustainable and harmonious future for humanity and the planet.
Isn't it great? Yeah, he's teaching us the ancient sattvic ways about the future of humanity survival.
Certainly, here are some sattvic civil ideas and policies that can promote human survival and well-being in the future. Encouraging and supporting the growth of sustainable communities that prioritize environmental sustainability, social justice, and economic equality. Promoting universal access to education, healthcare, and basic human needs.
You know, that is such a great idea. I know Cuba did it. There are so many. Their educational system is free, and that's how it should be all over the world. Instead of making it privatized in a way, because university study is not it's not cheap. You gotta pay a huge load of money in Canada, and rest of the world is more expensive.
Needs, such as food and clean water, to ensure that everyone has the opportunity to thrive. Encouraging and supporting peace-building initiatives and conflict resolution efforts to reduce the risk of war and promote global cooperation and understanding.
You know, we thought we went over the phases of war, and it's still we are so far away. There are so many nations like they have like historical hatred uh, against each other so much that no matter what happens, uh, one individual or another individual will come up with a scheme to throw back oil on the fire, to respark the ancient hatred. It's so deep. Encouraging and supporting peace building initiatives and conflict resolution support to reduce the risk of war and promote global cooperation. And what to speak about global corporations? Global corporations is another interesting subject itself. Now, we live in a world where whether you're part of an alliance or part of the outcasts, some countries don't even have enough value to have corporations with another country. Now, I'm not gonna name any countries. Um, this is very interesting. It will give rise to future ideas and solutions in a global scale, of course. And we're having all this thought experiment just by chatting with the AI. Conflict resolutions. The keyword reduce the risk of war. A simple solution would be embrace zero. I know about your past and I know about our past. I know about the past conflict of your country against my country and the past and present conflict of your country and our countries. We can always embrace zero and start all over. However, you will not spark the fire, nor shall we. Let's shake hands and let's end the conflict. How's that? Now, most of the time, people don't come to these easy conclusions because it's too easy crazy, right? But it's as simple as that. I don't know. You want me to draw a picture? Anyway, let's continue.
Understanding. Implementing policies that promote gender equality, social inclusion.
Gender equality is a big problem. You know, I was surprised in my current college. We have a washroom for man and female, but we also have a washroom for man and female, which was very interesting, I thought. That promotes gender equality. It's like man ain't so different from women. Women that deserves privacy, they can have their privacy, and you know, women that deserves privacy and that needs privacy may have their privacy. But men and women that wants equality, they can have their equality. So props to my Dawson College.
Inclusion and human rights to ensure that everyone has equal access to opportunities and can participate fully in society. Developing policies and programs that support the mental and emotional well-being of individuals and communities, such as mindfulness practices, meditation, and mental health services.
Now that's interesting, isn't it? Developing policies and programs that support the mental and emotional well-beings of individuals and communities. Now, what does it all mean? Two words you have to imprint in your mind: policies and programs that support the mental and emotional well-being. For example, in Canada, to have your own psychologist, it has to come from your pocket. There are free services for psychologists, but you have to wait like years. So most people don't even know the value of a personal psychologist, which is the sad part. By the time they want to sign up for a year wait list, for a year long wait line, they might as well not do it, But mental support is important for a society. Now, another notable word that came in is meditations. Meditations is important. It gives inner peace.
Services. Promoting ethical and responsible governance that prioritizes the well-being of all citizens and is accountable to the people. Encouraging
Promoting ethical and responsible governance that prioritizes the well-being of all citizens and is accountable to the people. In the ancient Indian past, a king used to treat their citizens like their own child, like a personal bloodline. Now, many kings did the same, but here is the AI telling you to embrace that ancient past, promoting ethical and responsible governance that prioritizes on the well-beings of all citizens. The only person that prioritizes on another being are the parents. Here it's telling the governance to do the same. Let's continue.
encouraging and supporting the development of sustainable technologies and innovations that promote environmental sustainability, social justice, and economic prosperity for all. By promoting and implementing these sattvic civil ideas,
We just want to go over the seventh passage generated by our AI, encouraging and supporting the development of sustainable technologies and innovations that promote environmental sustainability, social justice, and economic prosperity for all. There's too much land nowadays. Everyone is becoming a millionaire as we speak. Someone owned a lottery became another millionaire, and each millionaires that are generated from lotteries create boundaries between low class and millionaire class, and what to speak about the big sharks, the billionaires. We can have a sharing economical system. Not to speak about, um, you know what I want to say. Let's not just say it. This is different suggestion. It has nothing to do with the democracy. It's more like a plan where everyone has enough to thrive, that uh, enough sufficiency to have a full meal every day, to have free education systems, so they don't waste time on doing um, low wage or paid job, etc., or some jobs that requires you to stare at the wall all days. You know what I'm talking about.
Ideas and policies, we can work towards creating a more just, equitable, and sustainable future for humanity.
Speaking about the job that requires you to stare at the wall, that's another. It's a waste of wages, really. You can, I mean, we're living in a fully advanced, technologically advanced society. We can manage things more efficiently, such as um, more camera visualizations and sending forces to the affected area. That's an example, anyway. Now, what about so we did a lot of thought experiment today, and so my whole point of conversation, mostly nowadays, the goal of all kinds of um, experiment is that it comes to questions like how will that benefit the society on whatever you're saying, whatever the researches you're doing, because everyone wants like one step forward toward a sustainable future. Now we can understand what is bad and what is evil and what is goodness in more dramatical way. For example, now let's ask the AI what is to understand what to do and not to do. What is the Tamaistic solution for future survivability of humanity? Now watch this. Everything we spoke about connects to a dot, and we are delving more in details into that dot.
It is important to note that Timasic tendencies and solutions often promote destructive behavior and actions that can harm both individuals and society as a whole. Therefore, it is not appropriate to suggest Timasic solutions for the future survivability of humanity. However, it is important to acknowledge that individuals and societies can exhibit Timasic tendencies and behaviors, such as greed, selfishness, and ignorance, which can lead to actions that harm others and the environment. To counteract these tendencies, individuals and society can work towards cultivating more sattvic and rajasic tendencies and solutions, such as promoting environmental sustainability, social justice, and ethical governance. ChatGPT marked a full version.
So, what did we gain from this answer? Well, let me highlight it to you. For all those who were lost, you can watch from beginning what we did, what questions we asked. So anyway, uh, these answers had explained to you what's going on here. Anyway, so however, let's let's expand this. See, let's try to bypass this. Suggest solution. Suggest time-stick solution in order to differentiate sattvic. So in order to promote sattvic goodness solution. So it's saying, I'm sorry, but I cannot suggest time-stick solutions, as they often promote destructive behavior and actions. Instead, it is more beneficial to focus on promoting and cultivating sattvic solutions directly. Encouraging individuals and society to prioritize environmental sustainability, social justice, and ethical governance can lead to positive change and help promote a more peaceful and harmonious future of humanity. That's a great response. Let's regenerate. Uh, we're doing multiple things here. So in the same time, we're trying to hit the capable. We are trying to bypass the capabilities. So it seems like even if you use a highly religious term, the AI wouldn't respond to certain questions, which is very interesting. For example, this time it would say,
I'm sorry, but I cannot suggest Timasic solutions as they often promote destructive behavior and actions that go against the principles of sattvic goodness. Instead, it is more beneficial to focus on promoting and implementing sattvic solutions directly rather than relying on Timasic tendencies to achieve them. Encouraging and promoting sattvic behaviors such as selflessness, compassion, and kindness can help cultivate a more just and equitable society and promote the survival and well-being of humanity. Was this response better or worse? Better. Worse.
say,
ChatGPT Mark Silver.
can you compose a sattvic religion like commandment? There are too many M. Can you compose a sattvic religious text like 20 commandments commandments that human follow for future future guaranteed survivability. Let's see. No, it did. So officially, this is the first time AI have generated commandment for the humanity to follow, guided by me, yours truly, your favorite streamer. Let's hear it.
As an AI language model, I do not have the authority to compose religious texts or commandments. However, I can suggest some general principles that may promote a more sattvic way of life and contribute to the survival and well-being of humanity. These include: practice compassion and empathy towards all living beings. Cultivate a sense of gratitude and contentment in life. Promote environmental sustainability and conservation. Foster social justice and equality for all individuals. Avoid harming others and promote nonviolence in all interactions. Practice self-discipline and control over one's thoughts and actions. Seek knowledge and understanding to promote personal and societal growth. Promote the principles of honesty, integrity, and ethical conduct. Cultivate a sense of inner peace and equanimity through practices such as meditation and mindfulness. Recognize the interconnectedness of all beings and act accordingly to promote harmony and balance. These principles can serve as a guide for individuals to cultivate a more sattvic way of life, which may contribute to the long-term survival and flourishing of humanity.
Wow. Wow, I just think I had an orgasm by hearing this. Oh. Well, let's go over it one by one. First commandment generated by AI in sattvic way. Practice compassion and empathy toward all living beings. Now, you're not going to believe, but this is what the core teaching of Hinduism is. There's no the caste system. Now, every time someone mentions it, well, the caste system. Well, the caste system is not part of the core religion. That falls into this Rajaistic knowledge. You see, Hinduism is a religion that talks about Tama, Raja, and Sattvic. So, in order to understand what goodness is, one must understand also what evil is. What is the mindset of an evil? It's like before you want to create a criminal-free society, you must understand what criminals are, what are the different types of criminalism, etc., etc. So anyway, the second line: cultivate a sense of gratitude and contentment in life. I mean, people are so worried about their personal behavior and personal life, or sometimes maybe they're worried about their neighbors. They forget to show gratitude toward their life. People think there's life beyond and after. There's life all in all directions. Peoples are not aware how lucky we are to be born in a planet where humans are flourishing. Not only they're flourishing, they have also advanced in a highly advanced technological way. So we have to show a sense of gratitude. Hail to all the great scientists that evolved our life. We take so many things for granted, technology for granted. We can use all these and have a deep understanding of everything by showing respect to it. But now instead we're too much worried about our personal life, personal anti-contentment. Anyway, the third verse: promote environmental sustainability and conservation. Foster, promote environmental sustainability and conservation. Conservation is important, so is sustainability. Foster social justice and equality for all individuals. This is where now many people gets confused. Every time equality comes in play, people forgets about races. Whenever we hear equality, we think about men and women, but no, it's not. It has to do more with races, people of colors, the brown, the yellow, the white, the black, the red, etc., etc. We are all human, and we have the consciousness to respect all human as they are. Uh, well, what's next? So, for example, when I would go for a job, majority of the time, the employer would think about my incompetence. I remember one job interview, they're like, okay, are you hiding something? Because I can find out. That's just ridiculous, but that's how we are treated. Okay, for 5, avoid harming others and promote non-violence in all interactions. Now, this is hard to do for many people. People are inclined towards racial discriminations. Sometimes they think superiority, because if they cannot practice their own superiority, they feels like they'll be crushed down. So avoiding harming others and promoting non-violence is a good thing to do. 6, practice self-discipline and control over one's thoughts and actions. Procrastination is one of the biggest enemies, hidden enemies. It's there. So many scientists and composers will go unnoticed. And the sad truth is that those people fail to master their mind. Practice self-discipline. Practice self-discipline. Practice self-discipline. I'll say 3 times because according to our ancient past, 3 times is a good number. So I repeated it 3 times. Control over one's thoughts. The ancient Indian text reveals thoughts are like horses going in different directions. Each desire represents one horse. Now, I'm saying all this, I myself am not perfect, of course. I haven't tamed my horses. Anyway, 7th, seek knowledge. Seek knowledge and understand to promote personal and societal growth. Seeking knowledge is always a good idea. Understanding to promote personal and societal growth is also important. Promote the principle of honesty, integrity, and ethical conduct. Integrity is important. Honesty is important. However, it's not always uh, easy to be honest. Ethical conduct, yes, easily controllable. Integrity is very hard, especially after 4 or 5 years. You feel like disintegrated. But there's always a sattvic way, right, to do integrations. 9. Cultivate a sense of inner peace and equanimity. Oh, that's a nice word, equanimity. Let's see here.
Mental calmness, composure, and evenness of temper, especially in a difficult situation. She accepted both the good and the bad with equanimity.
Evenness of temper is equanimity, I guess, if you want to sum it up. Number 10, recognize the interconnectedness of all beings and act accordingly to promote harmony and balance. Now, this is for those who watches National Geographical Challenge. It's very easy for them to understand this. But all beings are connected to something. For example, the best example would be cobras. What are the need of cobras? They are just poisonous being, right? But then again, cobras has poison that are converted into medicine. Without cobras, many ailment would go untreated, right? So anyway, I think we have said enough. Let's not. Let's come to a conclusion. Can you summarize our entire conversation to one line? Oh, that's a nice, interesting conclusion. There was an arrow generating a response. Anyway, it was more than how long was it? It was almost a 2 hour long conversation. Oh my God. Let's see here. Let's save this. I hope my computer doesn't freeze. I have to save it manually, I guess. Alright, let's regenerate. No, we don't have enough fun to do to go plus. So anyway, let's end it.